Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming through, and thank you Beatrice and Supernova for having me. It's awesome. Cool. So yes, as Beatrice said, my talk is about enhancing collaboration between designers and developers with a reference to design systems. So design systems. So design systems can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. However, for me, I like to think of it as a spectrum of complexity, which I think is also a nice kind of overarching term that doesn't say it doesn't say that much, but I'll get into that later in the Q&A if someone asks. But what we can all agree on is that design systems help to standardize processes, workflows, and also design systems are collections of components. So if you think about it, the overarching term of the spectrum of complexity actually is quite fitting with regards to this. Also, at least where I'm from, the main function of the design system is to enable teams to move quickly and scale up and make sure that there's consistency around the product or service that you're putting out into the world to nice users. Mm.
That was my line.
Oh, no, that's fine. Okay. Does it work? Okay, cool. Yeah, it works. Okay, cool. So our roles, just to go over them, as designers, our focus is on the user experience and visual consistency. We're always advocating for the end user, and that's kind of what we should be having as our main goal. Yes, we can consider the business goals as well as, developer or technical feasibility, but at the end of the day, we should be caring about who these components or these things or these products are for and how we can make them better and not piss off people. Also, we create brand or user-friendly component libraries and style guides. So if you think about it in the context of a design system, you would create components and you would think, okay, cool, we're creating these components and using them internally and customers are seeing them. But a lot of the, let's say, inputs are from the customers. So you wouldn't necessarily put a red button with a call to action somewhere on checkout. Most people know that's not a good idea. So that's an example of what I say over here, user-friendly component libraries. And also, it has to be within your brand, obviously. So you work with brand and marketing together to kind of influence the design system. So it seems as though the design system is getting inputs from a lot of different places, which in turn also makes it complex. So again, spectrum of complexity. It's up to us to view this and also, let's say, manage and govern the amount of, let's say, I wouldn't say feedback, but input into the system. For developers, what they are focused on is implement, maintain design components, ensure technical feasibility and performance. And this is also a great one, protection of the technical system as a whole for the whole business. What's great about this, and I'll share one of my, I don't want to swear, but one of my, let's say, pitfalls that happened in my career is that I thought it would be a clever idea in one of the tasks that I was looking over the design system to add some components for a use case that our product did not necessarily have at that time. So you would think, okay, cool, like thinking forward, like, when we need it, it's there. Nobody has to design it, like it's done, it's ready to go. This is a problem because what this does, designing for a use case that isn't already, let's say, present, would just add complexity to the system. So I was very, very, very thankful that a developer came to me and we spoke about it. And although they can appreciate kind of like my forward thinking, adding complexity to a already complex system just isn't feasible. And again, it just doesn't work at the end of the day, the person that's going to pay for it would be the user, because then the system will be too complex, it will be slow, there'll be issues. So, the importance of collaboration. So the importance of collaboration is definitely to streamline development, so reduce redundancies so that we can have faster iterations, so we can ship faster, change things, kind of, I hate to say agile, but like be, let's say, flexible and loose, I like that. Enhance user experience, consistency and experience. This is also, if we think back about the spectrum of complexity, consistency and experience doesn't just regard the design system, it regards the product as well as the service, kind of everything. Everything needs to be consistent. Visually, that's great, but you don't want to have pieces of your business or your service where there's inconsistencies. For example, everything could be going well in a certain journey, but when you get to, let's say, a checkout or when you're dealing with customer care, if there is friction there for the customer, we need to know this and we need to sort it out, and it just benefits the system, or not the system, the service. And then increased efficiency, better resource management, and fewer design developer conflicts. And make no mistake, there are definitely designer-developer conflicts, but later on in my slides, I'll explain how best to kind of, let's say, remedy this. Effective collaboration. So early involvement, involve developers early in the design process. I would encourage designers to involve developers early on in the process, but also with an asterisk, because you don't want to allow developers to dictate the way that things are going to be moving. So you need to open the floor, let the developers sit at the table, discuss, but also remember they're coming from their point of view of technical feasibility and system complexity, where you're coming with the user in mind, and you should have an agreement that hopefully is to the benefit of the user. Because if it's not in the benefit of the user's not going to use it, and then what's the point? Right, continuous learning. Be aware of advancements, strategies that could affect our workflows. It's very important. Everybody knows how fast currently everything's happening. It's kind of overwhelming. It's like you wake up every new day, there's like things happening. AI is getting crazy. It's super exciting, super overwhelming. Sometimes can make you want to jump out the window, but if you fight the urge to jump out a window and you live to see another day, more advancements will happen, and some pretty cool stuff will showcase. Feedback mechanisms. So feedback mechanisms for, let's say, regular review cycles. I feel that this is also quite important. Just, checkups, and, depending on the complexity of what you're doing, will determine the frequency, also the quality, how much time you're spending. I know that it's not exactly popular for businesses because it's a resource, or it's a suck-on resource, but it is so important, because if you need, with regards to this, you need to think about it in the short term and the long-term benefit. Short-term benefit, it sucks, it's taking up resources, people are speaking about the same thing, why are we doing this? But for long-term sustainability as well as alignment for the future, this really, really can make a difference to a business. And building a shared understanding. So transparency over all aspects. I'm huge on this. I'm huge about communication and transparency. We can have differing opinions. We can believe different things, but let's be honest. Just, look, this is how I feel about this. I believe this, and validate. Say, cool, I believe this because of X, Y, Z. So it gives someone else an opportunity to learn from you, understand where you're coming from, build some empathy. It's like a no-brainer for me. It works all around, at least for me. And fostering collaboration. Fostering collaboration, as I said earlier, communication. Regular sync-ups, have the channels open, try be as transparent as you possibly can. So it's important to cultivate a bit of a safe space. You know, you need to have your colleagues understand that they need to have your back and you need to have theirs, because when you create kind of like this, I want to say like group where, you know, you guys can be in like the trenches together and like really like things aren't working out and it sucks and it's a particularly bad time in, let's say, the service. All of that stuff can be mitigated if you're with the right people and you look over to your sides and your colleagues are like, you know, cool, it's not a great time right now, but like we're in it together and we're not alone, we're gonna do this. And that has helped me a lot of times in my career to push forward. And documentation, implement and maintain accessible documentation. This is also really important for the future, because what you don't want to happen is you do a lot of work, you don't document anything, and then you get ready to move on to the next, let's say, phase of your career. And the new person coming in is coming in to no onboarding, no documentation. So we also need to not be too selfish in our careers and moving forward, but also to at least help the business, the service, and the people following. And plus, you'll be remembered really, really well. So shared goals. Align on common objectives and KPIs. Encourage mutual respect, understanding of both roles. As I was saying, transparency, you know, these regular talks, it's really important because it builds the empathy and you really start to deepen your mutual respect in the workplace. And that's really, really cool. And yeah, that's my super fast, super lightning talk. Yeah, let's connect on LinkedIn. Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Hope I didn't take too much of the time.